Hey everybody, Peter Green here from Agile for All, coming at you with your daily dose of Agile. Today is Monday, and on Monday we talk about what's trending in the Agile space. And what I'm noticing trending on social media today is a lot of arguing. And so on this edition of Daily Dose, we are going to talk about how to argue well. All right. Arguing is something that happens all the time. It's part of the human condition. People have different opinions, and we normally don't think of how do we argue well. We usually use nicer, softer terms for that, like how to effectively engage in conflict to resolve the issue in ways that all parties are happy with. But in reality, we're arguing a lot of the time, and we want to do that well. Now, one clarification, I'm not saying how do you win every argument no matter what. That's not what I'm going to give you some advice on. What I'm going to give you some advice on is how to get the better outcome for both parties. Okay, so I notice in arguments, most of the time, the two parties are engaging in one of two activities. One, they're trying to be critical. They're saying, here's what's wrong with what you're saying. And two, and closely related to number one, is they're trying to change the other person's opinion, change their mind, change their perspective, get them to change their behavior or something like this, okay? And so if we're just being critical and trying to get the other person to change their mind or change their behavior, we are setting ourselves up to fail in an argument. Here's my advice. Instead of trying to criticize or change the other person, swap that to say, let me be curious and try to empathize with the other person. And so when we seek first to understand what the other person's point is, I often find that we discover that there was more alignment than we expected. If we dig into why they're believing what they're believing, why they're behaving the way that they're behaving, most of the time there's a logical reason for that. And if we can uncover where the assumptions are that are not true, oftentimes we can break through, and then you quote unquote win the argument because you discover that you were more aligned than you expected, or you discover that the place that you were not aligned is not where you thought you were unaligned. In other words, you thought that you were arguing point A and they were arguing point B. Turned out that they were arguing point C, but they couldn't hear that and you couldn't hear that because you were so entrenched in your position. So if you want to argue well, seek to be curious and seek to empathize for why that person might believe the thing that they believe or behave the way that they behave. That's our daily dose for today. If you liked the video, please share it. Please like it. If you are interested in getting these kinds of topics in your inbox every weekday, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I'd be curious to hear in the comments whether this tactic works for you. If anybody's willing to experiment with this tactic of, instead of trying to criticize or change someone else, empathize and be curious. If you run this experiment with an argument, with a debate, whether that be online or in person, curious to hear how it goes and see what changes for you. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.